Hello everyone. Today I'll take you on a tour of this 2024 Chevrolet Blazer EV and I'll show you why it is a true threat to Tesla's dominance. The new Blazer EV has to be one of the best EVs on the market. It has a lot of technology features, has a very nice, actually fairly luxurious interior, and it finally gets you Tesla competitive range and also some nice exterior styling and performance. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off with this infotainment system in the middle here. And this screen is absolutely massive. It kind of is so big that even the infotainment systems that we consider large and other gas cars seem tiny in comparison. This one, by the way, is a 17-inch display. So it goes from all the way down here in that bottom corner to up there, and it does curve around appropriately with the design here. And it is a really mind-bogglingly large screen. Even the gauge cluster screen is so big, but this center screen is absolutely massive. It is huge. So of course, you would expect everything, or at least a lot of it, to be in the screen, and you would be right for that assumption. Everything is basically in this screen because it's so big that it kind of has all the features. So let's go ahead and get into these features. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the different vehicle apps in here, and let's also talk about what the infotainment system really is, why it's so big, and also why the software is very fluid and responsive. So one of my previous videos that I made on this channel was about a Cadillac Lyriq, and that uses similar software to this car, the Android Automotive software. The Blazer EV has that same software, and let me go turn some lights on. You can see a little better. And basically, that means that Google has made all of the software for this vehicle. So all of the things you see here is all Google operated. And if you look around at the different apps we have, you can see, oh, looks like the screen turned off. Let me go ahead and turn it on again. And give it a moment. You can see Android is starting, so it shows you that this is using Android. And let me go ahead and turn these features on so we can show you all the different things the infotainment system has. And you can see over here we have all the various different applications in this screen. You can see over here you have the vehicle status application. This will basically show you the status of the vehicle, its movement, all those statistics. This will only be active when it's on. You can see over here. Same with the drive modes. There are multiple different drive modes in this vehicle. You have comfort, sport, eco, so many different drive modes. Again, that's something you can access when the vehicle is on. And then you can see over here we have the Google Assistant and the Play Store. And basically how this works is you press the Google Assistant icon. What's the weather?
Currently in Bellevue, it's 54 degrees and cloudy. Tonight, the forecast is around 51 with rain.
And there you go. You can see it told me the weather, told me all the information. That's how Google Assistant works. There's also a button on the steering wheel right here, and that'll go ahead and activate it as well. So again, a very comprehensive system. Uses Google primarily, so because Google software is excellent, that's the case here as well. We also have the Play Store, so basically you'd sign in here and you can find applications for your car. So Android apps available on your car, and you can use them when you're parked, like games or whatever, which is an interesting feature. Then we also have all the other basic applications. There are these shortcuts up here. So this is your home page. This is where you'll see all your different apps. You can tap this icon, and that's like a different kind of home page. And here, unlike the app drawer, here you'll see a bunch of different widgets. So you can see here, let me go ahead and let's go ahead and do that. And when Maps is active, you'll be able to see it a little bit clearer. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now you can see over here, Maps view over here. And you can see I can use the map as normal. And you also have all this stuff on the left. So you can see I can tap tire pressure information. There's the Google Assistant plus driving view. And I'm going to tap this edit icon. And I can edit what's around there. So right now I have the maps. But if I want the audio instead, that'll show me the audio information in that spot. And I can put the maps somewhere else, for example. And I can change that. I can put the trip information. I can go back to the audio. I'll just put it in the maps view again. So It is a very, very neat system. You also have shortcuts for all the different things I was talking about. So here is the audio icon. So this will take me to my different audio sources. I have Google News and podcasts as well. I also have Google Maps. And this is, again, proper Google Maps. It's not like a half-baked implementation. This is literally just Google Maps. So it is very, very responsive, easy to use. I can zoom in, twist it around. Super, super simple. And I can tap the recenter icon to recenter it. And I can look for directions as well. Again, a very easy to use system, just like on a phone. And over here, this is for pairing via Bluetooth, and then we also have the charging system here, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But overall, a very simple, easy to use infotainment system, a lot of features, and I really like they partnered up with Google for this one, because that makes it one of the simplest and nicest ones in the market. It's really on par with Tesla, maybe even better. And here are a couple of other features in here. So like I was mentioning, alongside the Google features, we also have the Alexa features. You can see here you have Amazon Alexa. Here you can, again, you have Alexa alongside Google Assistant, so multiple options, which makes it quite interesting. You also have the different vehicle settings. You can see if I tap that icon, you can see here, like connections. So this is for things like, oh, screen turned off. Let's go ahead and turn it on again. All right. And once that turns on, we should be good to go. So once I turn on the navigation things, let's go and turn that. And if we go to settings here, you can see you have all these different options. So this is the connections. This is for phones, Wi-Fi networks, hotspot, etc. Go back here. These are our vehicle settings. So in here, we have audio settings, drive mode customizations, the rear seat, buckle reminder, buckle to drive, so you can't drive without your seatbelt on, things like that. Notifications, apps, and plenty of other things as well. Use the Google settings down there. So this will be your Google Assistant and all that. We also have ambient lighting in this vehicle. Unfortunately, this vehicle is not on, and it's also pretty light outside, so I'm not able to show you the ambient lighting. But you tap the ambient lighting icon, you can see here you have a lot of different colors to choose from, and you can link it to your drive mode as well. So if you're in sport mode, for example, it turns red or green for eco, etc. Climate settings can also be adjusted in the screen. You can see a lot of climate controls down here, but these are permanently there. Unlike in some other vehicles, this one's actually right here all the time. You adjust your temperature by that. You can also slide, and you can also tap these for heated and ventilated seats. So I can turn that on, for example, like so. And if I give it some time, recirculating air, fan speed, all that. So very, very comprehensive climate control all in the screen. But keep in mind, they are fixed in place, and you do have physical buttons here as well if you want that instead. You have a Wi-Fi hotspot available, your audio settings, your maps, phone controls, and these are some of the general vehicle controls, like your heads-up display. You can turn that on or off. Your dome light, you can turn that on and off as well, which is a very interesting one. Your power window lockout, your camera settings, as well as your automatic high beams. And then that's basically it. My Chevrolet is more connecting it to your phone and pairing it up that way. And Google Podcasts, Google News. So a very, again, comprehensive Android-based system. And also you do have a comprehensive camera system. Again, the car's not on, so I'm not able to show you. But this vehicle does have a very comprehensive camera system. You can see here certain cameras. You'll be able to see this area has a camera all the way up there. There's also obviously a backup camera in the back and other cameras throughout the vehicle that you can use via that camera system. So overall, one of my favorite infotainment systems, this one. It's used in this car, it's used in the Equinox EV, it's used in the Lyric, and it's used in a bunch of other GM products. And it's really, really good. And it's also trickling down to Honda products now. Cars like the Prologue are also borrowing the system. So again, one of the best in the industry. And so here's a look at the gauge cluster in the Blazer EV. You can see here, surprisingly, there is an actual gauge cluster. A lot of manufacturers are doing away with this and are instead just going with nothing but the center screen. But in this car, you have a gauge cluster, a heads-up display, and the center screen all here. And the gauge cluster, again, a full screen, pretty large actually. The gauge cluster itself is quite big. You can see here right now statistics showing my battery range. I'm at 69%. I have 194 miles still available, so that's really good range, and I'll talk about that later on. And overall, it's again very customizable. Again, vehicle's not on. I can't show you this, but I can tell you how it's operated. You can see you have these buttons over here. You would use these buttons, and that would allow you to adjust the different settings. You can also tap that to change your view And then the voice button here, that'll activate Google Assistant, your music slash audio information, as well as some other cruise control related information here. So overall, that is the Gates cluster, a full screen and a very nice display. All right, so while we're in the front of the Blazer EV, let's talk about the rest of this interior. So you can see over here, we have the steering wheel. It is a nice thick rim steering wheel. You have red stitching, this being the RS model, and the black bow tie as a result. You can see over here, very, very nice grippy steering wheel. They're using the steering wheel on a lot of new Chevy models, and obviously the Blazer EV was one of the first to get it. Coming around over here, we have the center air vents. These are very kind of engine style air vents, and they look really nice. You can see over here, I can twist it to turn it on or off and move it around. Super cool looking. Over here, you can see I can turn to open this. Good amount of storage and 2 USB Type-C ports, which is neat. 2 cup holders back here, wireless charger, and if you press the button here, you can open up the center armrest. There's a good amount of storage in there too, alongside a 12-volt outlet as well, and illumination, which is quite neat. In case you're curious, up here you have the regular headliner, sun visor, the mirror, hazard lights, and you also have the rear view mirror over here as well. And you also do, I believe this one does get the rear view mirror camera, so that is a nice feature. Also around here, glove box, you can open that up, and a pretty reasonable amount of storage as well. And finally, let's talk about these seats. So these are the seats in the Blazer EV. You can see over here, these are RS branded seats, kind of Alcantara suede over here. Even in the middle here, you can see Alcantara suede seats alongside leather accents on the outside, blue and red stitching. They are very comfortable and they smell really nice. This is new leather after all. Super nice, luxurious seats, and they feel good. And also in terms of other materials, you have leather padding here, leather padding here. You have this nice kind of texture over here, carbon fiber material over here. And overall, again, actually a pretty luxurious cabin for this nice vehicle and good range too. And now let's go ahead, hop into the back seat. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into the back seat of the Blazer EV. So you just have to open the door. Let's go ahead and get inside. And in here, this is a large vehicle. This seat is about where I would have it to drive, and I'm about 5'9", and you can see over here I have a ton of legroom, more than enough legroom. I can really stretch out, relax back here. In terms of headroom, there is a ton of that as well, even though this kind of has a wagon-esque shape. Let me go and turn on some lighting back here so we can see a little better. Coming around back here, let's talk about materials and design. You can say similar to the front here, you have a soft touch kind of plastic back here. Down here you have nice leather and the carbon fiber material as well. You do have 2 mat pockets back here. And here's a view of the front, by the way. It's a very nice looking interior actually. And coming around over here, you can see you do get the flat load floor because it's an electric vehicle. So you do get a nice comfortable middle seat. And you also have heated seats back here, which is pretty neat. And over here, coming around to the seat itself, have a center armrest that folds down, and you do get a couple of cup holders, so a nice convenience there. You can also fold down or recline the seats. You can see this one's already slightly reclined, but you have this latch here, and you can see, use that latch, fold it down and put it like so, or you can kick it back a little. You can see a couple of spots here, and you can recline it back a little, or obviously fold it down. So a very nice back seat, again, gets the job done. Have heated seats, have a good amount of space, and it's overall a nice place to spend time. Alright, so let's go ahead and come around to the cargo area of the Blazer. You can see RS model, you get the black bow tie, and it has all-wheel drive. You can see the Blazer, the EV has the 3 horizontal lines with the blue to indicate that. And to open up the hatch, see, there we go. You can see this is obviously a power lift gate, and you can see over here there's a good amount of space in here. As you can see, to fold down the rear seats, like I mentioned, you have these latches over here, so you just press that and that'll go ahead, pop it down. I'll just put it back in place so I don't have to go back and put it down over there. You also have some stuff under here. You can see I lift it up, and you have a lot of underfloor storage. You can see right here, I have this area down here, and a good amount of underfloor storage in this vehicle as well. So ultimately, you can see, and also by the way, in case you're curious how the recline works, let me go ahead and pull the latch and bring it back. You can see, there you go. Now there's a slightly better look at the recline. So overall, a nice, pretty spacious cargo area. You can definitely fit a lot of things back here, as well as the underfloor storage. And in case you're curious, here's what's under the hood of the Blazer EV. You can see there's actually not much under here, mostly electrical components, as well as places to add windshield washer fluid and other fluid in the vehicle. You can see I can open this latch, for example, and that will allow me to open windshield washer fluid. I just don't want to do it now. Oh, there we go. See, there's how I would add windshield washer fluid in this vehicle. And overall, that's what's under the hood. Nothing much. Mostly electrical components and places to add vehicle fluids. Alright, so let's go and talk about the exterior styling of the Blazer EV. And you can see coming around over here, this particular model, being an RS model, has a lot of blacked out elements. You have the blacked out bow tie, you have the blacked out bottom grille, and over here let's talk about lighting. You can see over here you have a full light bar that goes across the entire width of the vehicle, and even the Chevy emblem is nice and lighted up. Over here you can see you have an amber turn signal that lights up to replace the LED daytime running lamp. You also do have a headlight bulb over here as well. So an overall pretty simple front end. Here it is in this area, by the way, in case you're curious. Coming around to the side, here's the side of the Blazer EV. Here's a full look. And down here we have these are the Blazer EV RS's wheels. You can see over here, twin six-spoked wheels, and you do have 6 lug nuts, which is an interesting one. Not all cars have that. Coming around here, you do have LED turn signals on the mirrors. You do obviously get blind spot monitoring. And coming around back, finally back here, here's the back view of the EV. Here's the tail lights, by the way. Kind of similar look to the front. Kind of sweeps around. Full LED, by the way, and you can see the turn signals are incorporated with the brake lights back here. So that's generally how the styling looks like on the Blazer EV. And if you want to talk interior, here's a look at the interior, by the way. And as long as this headlight stays on, I'm gonna have to, you'll hear that noise. So I'll turn that off. And you can see over here, this is the interior again, a very simple, nice looking interior, pretty luxurious actually. Nice materials here, stitching down here, and really, really nice seats with power adjustment and lumbar. Here's the RS badge on the seat. And overall, very nice interior. I think definitely it's in good hands. If this is how modern car interiors are going to look like, it looks really neat. Alright, and finally let's go ahead and look at the window sticker and the range estimates for this vehicle. So we have this particular model is an RS model, and you get around 324 miles of range with this car. That is a lot of range that you're getting. This is basically Tesla level. It might even be more than certain Tesla models. There's a lot of range. Even the base model comes with over 270 miles of range. So this one is really loaded on those statistics. It's also not very expensive either. It ends up being $55,090 for the top of the line model. This is a top of the line, fully loaded RS edition. And you can see over here, this is without the tax credit either. And it is really, really well spec'd. So there you go. Here's a great rival to all the Teslas you see out there with good range and good specifications. And so there you have it. That's the new 2024 Blazer EV. This vehicle is an excellent alternative to new Teslas. It's a brand new entry into the market, and give it a little bit of time and it'll definitely be a staple of our roads. It is a wonderful, wonderful vehicle, and I'm highly excited to see these roll out more often.